Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're filming a video with a new palette. I'm so excited to be trying the new formula from Beaute. So if you guys are curious, just keep watching. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on my YouTube channel. I love trying out new eyeshadow palettes, and if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I would highly recommend subscribing, turning on that bell so you're notified every time I post. And without further blabbering, let's get into it. So most of you might have seen on my Instagram that today's actually my due date. So I'm actually filming this on my due date. We already had a doctor's appointment. Everything's good. If she doesn't come in the next week, we're gonna get induced on Wednesday. So I'll keep you guys posted. But I did get the Beaute Tropical Vibes palette in the mail, and I figure let me just sit and film. It's my favorite thing to do. I already posted a new makeup releases video earlier this morning. Hope you guys had a chance to check that out. I posted a Huda Beauty Rose Quartz video yesterday. So we've got tons of uploads happening, and I hope you guys don't mind because I know I'm going to take some time off in the next few weeks while she's here and while we're getting used to being parents. So I've just been taking advantage of time and filming because it's fun for me, and that way you guys won't miss me too much, hopefully. So anyway, the Beaute palette came. I'm so excited because I wanted a new palette from them to try their new formula because I was not the biggest fan of their old formula. I have a few of their palettes from the old formula, and I didn't want to buy the same palette over and over again just to try out the new formula. So I'm glad they did one that totally caught my attention. So this palette is absolutely stunning. I'm trying to think of what kind of look I want to do with it, but let's go ahead and swatch it because I haven't swatched it yet. So I don't know what it's going to be like, and let's see how pigmented the shadows are in the swatches because I am very, very, very curious. This color story is like so up my alley, and I know a lot of you watching, it's like right up your alley as well. So yeah, we'll see how the swatches pan out. Okay, so here are the swatches of the palette. I will say, based off of the swatches, it did swatch really nicely. All of the mattes are so creamy, and the shimmers, there's only 3 shimmer shades in here, which, I mean, it's fine with me, but if you like mattes, I'm really hoping this is going to be a solid matte palette because, oh my gosh, there's so many pretty matte shades. So the first shade is Mango, which is like a neon yellow green. Then we have Palm Tree, Khaki, Rainforest, Pickle, Palawan, Olive, Oahu, Jungle, Army, Safari, National Park, Chartreuse, Cave, and Seashells. So those are all of the gorgeous swatches. And I realized when I was swatching, I didn't show you guys the palette. So let me just show you really quick. This is what it looks like. This is the front cover. It looks like the other Beaute palettes that they've done with this like mandala on the front and then the name of the palette. And then on the inside, here is the eyeshadows. There was a little tropical flower imprinted on the chartreuse shade, but it might already be gone because I was impatient and I was swatching the palette, and then I realized I never showed you guys a close-up. So there's that, and then there is a mirror, which is also pretty standard for Beaute. So it looks like the other palettes. I do have some of the other Beaute palettes I own with me, so I will show you guys that all when we do comparisons with other palettes. I also just want to let you know this palette is cruelty-free, made in the PRC. Net weight is 24 grams or 0.84 ounces with a 12-month shelf life. It says the Tropical Vibes palette features 15 colors that allow you to create a wide range of looks. Each color has been carefully milled and pressed to provide the easiest application and the most excellent color payoff. So yeah, and then the packaging is the same as the front cover of the palette. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 eye looks because I don't have anywhere to be after this today, so I can do 2 eye looks because I know I got some feedback from you guys a few weeks ago asking like, do you want to see 2 looks or do you care, or yes or no? And a majority of people said that it was helpful to have two looks because that way we were trying out more of the shadows. Personally, for me, I like doing one eye look because I can see if the eyeshadows are consistent, but I'm still experimenting. Like, I'm trying both options depending on what I have going on after I film. So that shade is beautiful. Oahu, oh my goodness. So pretty and green. So now I want something on the outer corner that's a little bit darker. So I'm going to go into Palawan. And that's like a nice dark green. Ooh. Honey, she is pigmented. Ooh, I have a question for you guys. Okay, I'm curious to know what you think. How do you guys choose what influencers' links you're gonna use to shop? With the Sephora sale coming, I'm so curious because, like, for me, I will shop with whoever has the link posted that's like the most easily accessible. But I'm curious to know, do you guys have a different way that you pick? Like, do you go find a link from your favorite influencer even if you see somebody else post about it first? Or are you like me? Do you just use whoever posts about it first? Or do you have any kind of way that you determine how you pick your influencer? Because I'm just curious to know, if I'm being honest. Okay, so that shade Palawan is so pigmented and beautiful and green that I like hardly needed to put anything on. And I'm gonna go into the shade Mango just a little bit because I want to lighten up the inner corner just a tish more. Also, did you guys see Casey Holmes had her second baby? She had a baby girl too. I swear, there's so many like YouTubers that are pregnant right now that are due soon that it's like so fun. I feel like I have all these like extra mom friends that are going through it with me. But yeah, her baby's so cute. I think she named her Madison, and she has the most beautiful picture of her at the hospital, the two of them. So that was really cute. That's the type of quality content you're gonna get over here on my channel these days. Okay, so I love that so much. I love that look. I'm just gonna throw on the shimmer shade Seashells because you guys know I have to use it. This shade reminds me a lot of a shade in the Glamlite Dirty Martini palette, so I need to remember to compare those when I get to the comparison portion. But I'm just putting this kind of towards the middle of the eye. And honestly, I was gonna use it all over the lid, but now I'm wondering if I want to do a two-tone lid or at least try one of the lighter shimmers on the inner corner. This is a really pretty color. It's not foiling as easily as the Glamlite, I would say. The Glamlite one I feel like went on like butter. These ones I might have to use maybe my finger. That is so pretty. Oh my god, it's like so simple, but I kind of love it. Okay, so that's the one eye. On this eye, I thought I would go a little bit more neutral just to see like if you kind of like neutrals and greens, like what you can do with this palette. There's some more like brown green shades. I'm curious to see how those will do. So I'm just grabbing a Sigma E25 Max Blending and I'm going to go into the shade Khaki, which is a really pretty like mustardy brown shade. And we're going to start that off on the inner corner and just kind of sweep that in and out. Wow, this one looks very close to my skin tone, so it's almost like blending into my lid. Okay, now I'm going to take another brush and go into the shade Safari, which is just like the typical terracotta shade in most palettes. Like, I remember this shade being like the hit shade in the crease in like 2017. And I'm just using that to deepen up the crease just a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the shade Cave, which is the darkest brown kind of shade in the palette, and I'm just going to apply that on the outer corner. Ooh, so pretty. These shades layer really nicely. honestly, like, I mean, I have 3 browns in the crease, and I feel like they've all blended and layered really nicely together. Okay, so for the lid, I'm thinking I'm going to use this shade National Park because I used Rainforest and Seashells on this eye. So I'm going to use National Park on the other eye. So let's see how this one works on my lid. And this one's like a more golden shade anyway, so that worked out really well. Ooh, okay. So there's that. Pretty easy look. I will say, just based off of the few shades I tried, I mean, I did try all the metallics in the palette. They're not as punchy as I would like. I think that the mattes are definitely where it's at with this formula, which I'm not mad about because I feel like I have so many like pretty metallic eyeshadow palettes, so I know I can like do something. But man, since there's so many matte shadows in this palette, it's nice to know that the mattes are really strong because, yeah, I feel like a good matte formula is what Ace Beaute was missing with the other palettes they did. So that makes me happy that they've really improved on their matte formula. Okay, so let's do the lower lash line. So of course I have to use my green eyeliner. So let's use this one. This is a Linda Hallberg Calm Mood. Okay, and then I'm going to use this one from Raw Beauty Christy in ColourPop. This is the shade Marigold. It's a really nice mustard yellow liner. Okay, so let's go in with the shade Khaki on my favorite pencil brush and just set that eyeliner. And then we're going to go into Cave. Marry the upstairs with the downstairs. Very, very cool. And then I'm just going to stick to that same pencil. I'm going to go into National Park. And I just want to make sure I pop that in the inner corner. Just to give it some extra. And I want to put some more right here as well. Okay, and then let's do this eye. So I'm going to go into the shade Oahu. And I'm going to put that on the lower lash line. And then Palawan. Man, these green mattes are stunning in this palette. I love it. Okay, let's go into Chartreuse. Just to lighten up the inner corner. And then we're going to go into Rainforest, which is the shimmer shade I used on my inner corner. Okay, here are the 2 looks with mascara and the lower lash line done. My camera did cut off, so I don't know where I ended things, but this is what they look like, and let me tell you what else is on my face. So on my lips, I'm wearing the Sephora stain in the number 53. You guys love it when I wear this lip color. My husband is not a fan. I kind of love it because it's like a cool tone, kind of poopy color, for lack of better words. But with the Sephora sale this week that's starting, I think they said the Sephora collection products are going to be 30% off. So I might stock up on more shades, but now I'm thinking like, really, do I need any more lipstick? Probably not. But anyway, you guys really like this lip color, so I just wanted to mention that. Highlighter is Hermes, this one. And then I'm wearing my Kosas bronzer. And for blush today, I'm wearing the Taj Mahal blush from the NARS palette. Taj Mahal is sold as an individual shade, so if you're looking for a blush recommendation, the NARS blushes were like the first high-end blushes I ever tried. I panned orgasm, I think more than once back in the day, so I do really, really like the NARS blushes. So if you are eyeing any of the shades for the Sephora sale, the Taj Mahal blush I've always wanted to own, so I finally do, and it's a beautiful like orange shade. So anyway, that is that on that. As far as the eyeshadow palette goes, I just want to show you guys some comparisons. I went ahead and grabbed like all the palettes I could think of. There's a lot, so brace yourself. And I did grab my small Ace Beaute collection. I did own their Paradise collection. I decluttered all those palettes because I really hated the formula of those. When it comes to these ones, I liked the Oceanic and the Nostalgia palette. I did not like the formula of the Vintage Dawn palette. I just hold on to it because I love the color story, and then I never tried the Flare palette. I actually bought this to gift to a friend in France when we were gonna go to France, and then we had to cancel our trip like a couple of years ago. And so I never used this palette. It just kind of has been sitting with my other Ace Beaute palettes, so I'll have to consider trying that. But as you can see, the Flare palette and the new Tropic Vibes palette are the same size, and they've been doing this like Mandela style packaging for a while, so there are some similarities that they've kept consistent with the new palettes and the reformulation. So let me just show you here. This is the Flare palette and the Tropical Vibes palette next to each other. This is the Nostalgia palette. I believe this one came out last fall. It has like a fun pink color story with that green touch there. One of these shades looks like it's got hard pan in it. I haven't used that one in forever. Okay, and then this is the Oceanic palette. I actually sent this to my friend Amy back in the day from Amy Loves Makeup. We did like a palette swap for a while. Here is Vintage Dawn. So they really do nail color stories. Beautiful, beautiful color stories. So this one is no exception. And then I went into my makeup collection and I just grabbed a bunch of green palettes to show you guys comparisons for fun. So this is my probably most affordable green eyeshadow palette, the Emeralds from Profusion versus Tropical Vibes. I grabbed Let That Shit Go from BH Cosmetics, in case you guys wanted to see. I'm gonna save the ones that I think are really similar for the end, okay? Just so we can have some fun. Here is Melt Gemini with Tropical Vibes. I have Melt Cosmetics Vita. I grabbed Nomad National Parks versus Tropical Vibes. I grabbed Made by Mitchell Feet on the Ground versus Tropical Vibes. Juvia's Place Tribe palette. BH Cosmetics Absinthe palette. That one's not really close. I didn't realize how much more of a green teal that was compared to this. We've got Kaleidos Sci-Fi Green, BH Pistachio, Beauty Bay Wilderness versus the Tropical Vibes palette. I thought like maybe some of these shades, if you guys don't want to buy like every palette, you know, you can kind of get by with mixing this. Avocado Toast versus Tropical Vibes. I grabbed the Glamlite Pizza Slice versus Tropical Vibes. We've got Color Pop Tinkerbell. This is Colored Rain Safari Rain. I don't think they make this palette anymore, but just in case some of you have it, one of my favorite Colored Rain palettes. It's probably the only one I have left actually from Colored Rain. I did declutter a bunch of their eyeshadow palettes. Okay, this one Heather Austin requested. Be Perfect Antidote versus Tropical Vibes. Honestly, I thought it would be similar. It is. I mean, there's definitely some shades. Like, I don't think you need Tropical Vibes, Heather. But Tropical Vibes does have like that mango shade and that chartreuse shade. That's a little bit more of those yellow neon shades. I would say if you don't want to own both, the Carnival palette does have a decent amount of the shades that are in here. And then I did grab the Glamlite Dirty Martini versus Tropical Vibes. I thought these would be more similar, but the one thing I was curious was this shade Gin and the shade Seashells. Yeah, they're basically identical. This is Gin and this is Seashells from the two palettes. And then are there any other shades that are similar? Those were the two, like, it really just, like, right away when I saw the palette, I was like, oh my god, those are similar. There's some mattes I'm sure you can use interchangeably, but the good news is they're different enough, in my humble opinion, where you could justify having both, which is what I'm always wondering when it comes to green palettes. And then the one that I heard Angie mention, 420, I have that here, and the Tropical Vibes palette. I will say for sure I like the Ace Beaute formula better than the 420 formula. I like some of Melt palettes, but they're not all created equally. Also, the Melt palette only has one metallic, and it's like a golden shade. It's similar to the shade I used on this side, the National Park shade. Yeah, this 420 palette is not Melt's best work in my very, very humble opinion. The Melt palette doesn't have as much variety of green shades as the Tropical Vibes does. This one definitely has more like of those brown neutrals, and then this pop of yellow right here for wax. There is a shade called Shotgun in here that looks a lot like the shade Mango. So those are dupes, and this shade Faded in the Melt palette looks a lot like the shade Jungle in the Ace Beaute. It's a little bit darker, the Ace Beaute one. Overall, based off of my experience with the 420 palette, I would say the Tropical Vibes palette, formula-wise, is way better. Even the metallics, I would rather use the Ace Beaute formula. But yeah, those were just kind of the comparisons that came to mind. I feel like I showed you guys a lot of palettes. Nothing was exactly the same. If you have as many green eyeshadow palettes as I do, you could probably get by without getting this. But like I said, I was really curious because I have tried Ace Beaute in the past, and I've kind of had mixed thoughts on each palette I've tried from them. So I was really, really excited and interested in trying their new formula because there was so much hype around it on YouTube and Instagram. So very, very happy to have picked this palette up to find out for myself. Okay, so as far as my first impression thoughts on this palette goes, I'm so happy I picked this up. I think this is a really beautiful green eyeshadow palette. Is it something I needed? Absolutely not. I don't need any of these eyeshadow palettes, let's be real. I have way too many. But since my job on YouTube is to review eyeshadow palettes, I do enjoy collecting green eyeshadow palettes, and this one is definitely able to hold its own in my collection. I think this is a beautiful, grungy green color story, and I think you can do a lot of really pretty looks with this. I think the strongest point of this palette is all the beautiful matte shades, so I'm very, very much looking forward to playing with this some more. I do wish the metallic formula was a little bit more opaque and easier to foil, but it's not the end of the world because I can pull from all of these palettes I showed you if I want like a more impactful green shimmer, so it's not the end of the world. And I'm kind of glad that they put a lot of mattes in here, so I think this is a really fun palette. If you've been eyeing this, I really like the formula, so if we have similar taste in eyeshadow formulas, I think you would be very happy with this. I do know a few people that have codes with Ace Beaute, so I will link them down below. I think Amy and Angie both have codes, so I'll leave them down below for you guys in case you want to save some money. I love using people's codes because they earn some money for recommending things and trying things out, which is awesome. As a YouTuber, I know I really appreciate it when people mention my codes or use my codes, so I will do that for you guys. And that is everything. Let me know, were you eyeing this palette or was it a pass? Have you tried Ace Beaute in the past? Are you curious to try their new formula, or are you kind of done with them for now? I'm personally very excited that they updated their formula, and I'm very, very excited to see what they launch next. I would love to try their face palettes. Really have my eye on their face palettes, but those cost as much as this palette, and I have so many face products, so I'm not going to be buying those anytime soon. But yeah, I would love to hear what your experience has been with Ace Beaute. You guys know I love chatting to you down in the comments. And yeah, that is everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video tomorrow. Bye!